Alright, let's continue with it with this reading section. Okay, so yesterday we already fixed a few questions from 1 to 4, right? 1 to 4, yeah. So 1 is not given, 2 yes, 3 no, and 4 yes. So I already explained everything to you. Now let's move on to questions 5 to 9. Okay, so here questions 5 to 9, what do they ask you to do? So complete the summary using the list of words A to H below. So that means that you need to complete this summary about the rules of English. Okay, and you have to use the list of words below, that is from A to H. Okay, you can read those words and then you think which one should be the most suitable one here. Alright, now let's go number 5. So what is the best strategy for doing this, guys? Tell me. What's the best strategy for doing this one? What's that? Alright, now tell me, what's the best strategy for doing this?
Find the similar or phrases in the paragraph.
Looking for the similar words or phrases in the paragraph? Yeah, that's correct. And first of all, you need to read a few sentences here. Okay, now we know that we are reading something about the rules of English, and what you need to do is to read something here, and you need to look for the place, okay, the location in this reading passage, and then figure out where you should read carefully. Okay, of course the answers cannot be everywhere, so you just need to figure out some specific place where you can find the answers for all of these things, and then you read that carefully. Okay, first of all you will skim through everything and then you choose the specific location. Okay, now number 5, sorry. Quỳnh Hương, read that please. Okay, according to the writer, the English language should not be considered something, and the answer is D. Okay, so that is permanent. Yeah, the answer is permanent. Should not be considered something permanent, and this will always be the case. Okay, so the answer is permanent. Now, where can we find information about this? Okay, paragraph 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Paragraph 4, the first line. Okay. Shifted. Okay, so can English though ever be fixed? Of course not. If you read a passage from Chaucer, you will see that the meaning of words and the framework of grammar has shifted over the centuries, and both will continue to evolve. Alright, now tell me some similar words and phrases here, because here they say that according to the writer, we don't need to care about this one. The English language should not be considered something permanent. Okay, the answer is permanent, right? D, permanent. And this will always be the case. Yeah. So where? Which phrase is similar to what? The meaning of words and the framework of grammar. What? Is similar to what? Yeah, that's too long. We need something very specific, like which words or which phrases are the same as what. We cannot just say the whole thing is the same as something else. For example, the first one is say, can English though ever be fixed? Fixed here, what does that mean? Guys, can English though ever be fixed? Fixed, what does that mean? You don't know. Fixed here, that means doesn't change. In this case, it is similar to the word permanent. Okay? Alright, so this one is very important. So they ask, can English though ever be fixed? That means, can English ever be permanent? Or means it will be the same forever? And the answer is no, of course not. Okay? And if you read the passage from Joshua, you will see that the meaning of words and the framework of grammar has shifted over the centuries. When I say has shifted over the centuries, what does that mean? Has shifted over the centuries. What does that mean? Has shifted means has changed. Okay? Has changed or kept changing over the centuries. Okay? Yeah? So that means that the meaning of words and the framework of grammar has shifted. That means that they have changed over the centuries. They keep changing all the time. Okay? They cannot be permanent. Okay? And both will continue to evolve. Both will continue to evolve. Do you understand the meaning of the word evolve? Yes or no? What does that mean? No, what does that mean? Evolve. What does that mean? What? Develop. Yes. Okay, something like that. Okay? Evolve, that means develop, or keep changing, will keep transforming to something else. Okay? Something like that. So the meaning of words and the framework of grammar has shifted, that means has changed over the centuries, and both means the meaning of words and the framework of grammar, both of them will continue to evolve. That means they continue to grow, to keep changing all the time. Yeah? They can't be permanent. So based on the whole thing, so we figure out the word we should put here is permanent. Yeah? That's why the answer is D in this case. Okay? Alright, next one. Go on. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one, right? However, there have been accepted reference books for over a century that were produced by the answer is E in this case, knowledgeable, okay? By knowledgeable people. And these have established a system for the language that enables people to express themselves in a completely clear way, okay? So here is there have been accepted reference books. So that means that we have some books for over a century to do what? That were produced by whom? By knowledgeable people. Okay, so we need to look for the information somewhere in the reading reading passage here. Mention something like some knowledgeable people made or produced some accepted reference books. Okay, where can we find information? Paragraph 4, line number 6 from the bottom. Okay. Wait. Paragraph 4, line number 6 from the bottom. That should be we shall always need new words, right? Right? What are you reading? Okay, read that again. I couldn't hear you. Okay, here, right? But, okay, paragraph 4, line number 6 from the bottom, okay, it's right here. But we have had a standard dictionary now ever since the OED was completed in 1928, and learned men, many of whom contributed to the OED, wrote grammars a century ago that settled a pen of language that was logical and free from the danger of ambiguity. Okay, yes, that's right. Now tell me some similar words and phrases or something. Why do we need to fill in the blank here with the word knowledgeable people? Okay, now tell me the similar word. Okay, so you say that the standard dictionary is the same as accepted reference books. Okay, all right, and then what? What else? Why do we need to write the word knowledgeable there? Knowledgeable people. Tell me some similar words and phrases of knowledgeable people. What's that? That's too much. Yes, knowledgeable means learned man only. Yeah. Yes. So here they say that and learned men, many of whom. I mean, many of those learned men. I mean, many of those knowledgeable people contributed to the OED. So what did they do? They wrote grammars a century ago that settle a pattern of language that was logical and free from the danger of ambiguity. Okay? Yeah? So that's why the answer here is knowledgeable. Okay? And the whole meaning here is just the same as that paragraph. Okay? So they talk about some kind of accepted reference books, that is the standard dictionary. Standard dictionary now ever since the OED was completed in 1928. Okay? All right. So here they say, and these have established a system for the language that enables people to express themselves in a completely clear way. So here they say that settle a pattern of language that was logical and free from the danger of ambiguity. Okay, free from the danger of ambiguity. That means that make everything very clear. All right, just the same as this. Express themselves in a completely clear way. All right, the next one. Okay. In his own book, the writer aims to describe and support the established rules of the language that are in, and the answer is B. Okay, general. That are in general use and that people are accustomed to. Okay. The writer aims to describe, that is in his own book. Okay. The writer aims to describe and support the established rules of the language. That means that all of the rules of the language which were established or which have been established that are in general use. That means that they are in use by many people and that people are accustomed to. Okay, now tell me, where can we find information? Yeah, paragraph 5, line number 2. Yeah, okay, in this one, yeah. So it is to these standards that I hope Strictly English is looking our language. Okay, Strictly English, that is the name of the book. Okay. It is to these standards that I hope Strictly English is looking our language is to a great extent settled and codified, and to a standard that people recognize and are comfortable with. All my book does. Okay, what his book does is what? Is describe and comment the standard and how people towards a capable grasp of the English tongue. Okay, now tell me some similar words and phrases and why we know that we have to fill in the answer here, which is general. Okay. Yes, the word comment is similar to support. Yes. That standard is similar to what? Established. Established rules of the language. Okay, the established. I mean that those rules were approved and implemented. Okay. Yes, okay, yes. People recognize, okay, and to a standard that people recognize and are comfortable with. Yes, people recognize and are comfortable with. That means that people are accustomed to. Yes, that's right. Okay. Now, which word is similar to general use? That was very important. Yes, our language is to a great extent settled and codified. Yes, that kind of similar to the language that are in general use. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Wait, do you understand the meaning of the word a capable grasp of the English tongue? How people chose a capable grasp of the English tongue? Grasp, what does that mean? What does that mean? Means understanding. Okay, how people chose a capable grasp of the English tongue, that means how people to understand, to the capability or the ability to understand English. Yeah. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Number 8, right? Đức, can you do it? No? Just do something. Try. Read that first. He also wants.
And that people are accustomed to he also wants his book to be useful as a way of improving people's ability and English.
Yeah. He also wants his book to be, and the answer is H, useful as a way of improving people's ability at the language. Okay? So where can we find information? He wants his book to be useful. The answer is H, useful as a way of improving people's ability at the language. Where can we find information?
All my book does is describe and commend the standard and help people towards a capable grasp of the English.
Yes. Yes, that's right. The same sentence we have just read, right? All my book does is describe and comment that standard and how people towards a capable grasp of the English language, of the English tongue. And the one I just explained to you, okay, and how people towards a capable grasp of the English tongue. A capable grasp, that means that the capability to understand, okay, of the English tongue, that means just to understand English. Yeah. But the word useful, he also wants his book to be useful. Why do we know that we have to fill in the word useful here? Yeah. Okay. First of all, it is the book. All my book does is describe and comment that standard. Okay. And help people. Yeah, that means to make it useful for people. In terms of what? Right? Yes, that's right. Yeah, help people. That means make it useful for people. Okay. All right. Next one.
We believe that there is no reason why
Yes. He believes that there is no reason why someone's use of vocabulary should not be correct, and that grammar should not be and the answer is C, controversial subject. In his view, a system of grammar rules exists, and people should always obey those rules. Okay, now a controversial subject, what does that mean? What? What does that mean? Someone please? A controversial subject. That means that a subject. What? A subject causes a lot of debate. That means that a lot of arguments between many different sides. Okay, that's what we call a controversial subject. Here he said that there's no reason why someone's use of vocabulary should not be correct. That means that the use of vocabulary must be correct or should be correct. Okay, and the grammar should not be a controversial subject. That means that people should not argue about grammar anymore, because the rules should be there and everyone must follow the rules, and everyone follows the rules means that they don't need to argue anymore, because there's only one rule and one person must be right. You understand? Yeah, because many people can argue about whether we should write this sentence like this or that, but the rule is there, so we just check the rules and we know who is right and who is wrong. Okay, so there should not be any controversial subject. That's what he means. Okay, now where can we find information about this? Which paragraph? Paragraph 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Paragraph 6, line number 6 from the bottom. Okay. Yes, okay, this part. Yes, we shall always need new words to describe new things, but we don't need the wrong word to describe the right thing. Okay, when the right word exists. Also, English grammar shouldn't be a matter for debate. It has a coherent and logical structure, and we should stick to it. Yeah, you understand the meaning of this? Yeah. Okay, now tell me some similar words and phrases here. I think that he made himself very clear here. Okay, now tell me some similar words and phrases. He believes that there's no reason why someone's use of vocabulary should not be correct, and that grammar should not be a controversial subject. Where? Yes, that's right. Okay, the first sentence, right? We shall always need new words to describe new things, but we don't need the wrong word to describe the right thing when the right word exists. And that sentence has the same meaning or similar meaning to this one. He believes that there is no reason why someone's use of vocabulary should not be correct. Okay, and the next one, how about the next one? And that grammar should not be a controversial subject. Yes, that's right. It is the same as or is similar to this. English grammar shouldn't be a matter for debate. Why is that? Why shouldn't it be a matter for debate? Because it has, English grammar has a coherent and logical structure, and we should stick to it. Okay, we should stick to it. That means that in this field, a system of grammar rules exists, and people should always obey the rules. Okay, they should always obey those rules. So the answer here is controversial. Okay, subject. Yeah. All right, it's clear, right? Now let's move on to question number 10. Choose the correct letter A, B, C, or D. And number 10, the writer says that some groups of people use a private language because. Okay, how can we do this one? How can we answer this? Based on what? Yeah, based on the keyword. And what is the keyword here? Yes, you can see the word private language. Okay, it is the keyword. So you just skim the reading passage very quickly to look for these two words, private language, and you know the answer. Yeah, and the answer here is what? C. They want to impress other members of their group. So the writer says that some groups of people use a private language because they want to impress other members of their group. Okay, now where can we find the information? No one? Yeah. Yeah, we can see the word private language here. Okay, and you have just read the first sentence. Some groups of people, state officials, academics, lawyers, certain priests of scientists, talk to each other in a private language. Okay, but that's not enough. Here, based on this sentence, we just know that some groups of people just use their private language. That's all. It doesn't say anything about the reason why they do this. We need to look for the reason why some groups of people use their private language. What does that tell you? Because if you just read this, what does that tell you? Does that answer the question? Yeah, you see, if you read the next sentence, some official documents make little sense to lay people, because they have to be written in a language that combines avoidance of the politically incorrect with constant use of the contemporary jargon of the profession. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't explain the reason why they have to use their private language. Why is that? Who knows? Please tell me. Because we are looking for the reason, right? The reason is because they want to impress other members of their group. Just read a few more sentences and you will see that. Here, it is because the academics feel they have to write in a certain student dense way. For what? In order to be taken seriously by their peers. See that? In order to be taken seriously by their peers. Yeah? That means that you impress other members in the group. Yeah? So they want to impress other members of their group. It's just similar to in order to be taken seriously by their peers. Okay? Alright, now next one. 11. According to the writer, some academics are capable of, and what's the answer? A. Yeah, making sense to people outside their group. According to the writer, some academics are capable of. Okay, some. Okay, some academics are capable of what? Making sense to people outside their group. Now tell me, where? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some articles written by academics in particular are almost comprehensible to those outside the circle. This is not because the outsiders are excluded. It is because the academics feel they have to write in a certain student's way in order to be taken seriously by their peers.
So you think that the answer is right here. Some articles written by academics in particular are almost incomprehensible. Incomprehensible to those outside their circle. It's not because the outsiders are stupid. It is because the academics feel they have to write in a certain student dense way in order to be taken seriously by their peers. Right? Did it answer the question? Because here you are looking for information related to some academics are capable of making sense to people outside their group. What does that mean by some academics are capable of making sense to people outside their group? What does that mean? Some academics are capable of making sense to people outside their group. What does that mean? Making sense to people, that means that you make them understand what you write. Okay? So some academics are capable of, that means can making sense to people outside their group. That means that can make people outside their group understand what they write. Okay? So according to the writer, some academics can do that. Not all, but some. Where can we find information? Mm-hmm.
Some academics, however, are really good if asked to write for publication outside the circle, such as a newspaper. They can discover a knack of writing recent plain English.
Mm-hmm. Go on. One more sentence.
They do not infuse themselves in such a fashion when they write for learning.
Yes. Okay. That's right. Okay. This part. Yeah. Some academics, however, are bilingual. If asked to write for a publication outside the circle, such as a newspaper, they can rediscover the knack of writing reasonably plain English. They do not indulge themselves in such a fashion when they write for learned journals. Do you understand the meaning of this part? So some academics here, you see, if they are asked to write for publication outside a circle, that means if they are asked to write for people outside the circle. Okay? So what can they do? They can rediscover the knack of writing reasonably plain English. That means that they can write something which is very simple and easy to understand. Okay? So they can rediscover the knack. The knack, what does that mean? Knack, what does that mean? It means the ability. Okay? They can rediscover the ability of writing reasonably plain English. That means that of writing something very simple. Okay? And they do not indulge themselves in such a fashion when they write for learned journals. They do not indulge themselves in such a fashion. That means that they don't do the same thing, or they don't write something too simple like that when they write for learned journals. Learned journals, what does that mean? That means some academic journals, some very professional journals. Okay? So that means that again, if they have to write for learned journals, they have to use some kind of jargon or some kind of their own private language. You understand? And that may be very difficult for people outside the circle to understand. Alright? So based on this, the writer means that some academics, yes, definitely they can do that. Some academics can write something very simple and make sure that everyone can understand. Yeah? So that's why the answers for question number 11 is A. So some academics are capable of making sense to people outside their group. That means that they can make sure that people outside their group or the publication outside their group can understand. Alright? Now number 12. Who's next? Minh Đức, right? Okay, number 12. Read that.
When discussing the writing and how they research, the writer emphasizes.
Yeah, when discussing the writing of academics about their research, the writer emphasizes A, B, C, D. Which one? D. Yes, his dislike for the style used in their writing. Okay, so when discussing the writing of academics about their research, the writer emphasizes his dislike for the style used in their writing. That means that the writer emphasizes that he doesn't like the writing style of some academics. Okay, in some of their research. Okay? Where can we find information? You can read the next sentence. Yeah, the answer, no, not there.
I think they did not engage themselves in such a fashion when they write for large journals.
Yeah, the next sentence.
It is almost as though the purpose of such writing is not to be clear.
Go on.
That the writer is recovering research
Go on.
It doesn't seem to be on a search because that is considered ugly in other than one of segments.
Go on.
It is repeat versus long winded, abstract and abstruse.
Yeah.
Those who write in such a way probably will not easily be described unless what is considered acceptable within their received by chance.
Okay. Yes, that's right. Okay, so the answer is right there. Yeah. You can read from they do not until the end of that paragraph. Yeah. So they do not indulge themselves in such a fashion when they write for learned journals. It is almost as though the purpose of such writing is not to be clear. So what is the purpose? That the writer is recording research in order to prove to peers or superiors that he has discovered something. It does not seem to bother such people that their style is considered ugly or barbaric by anyone of discernment. It is repetitious, long-winded, abstract, and abstruse. Those who write in such a way probably will not easily be discouraged unless what is considered acceptable within their disciplines changes. Okay. So what is the purpose of these writers, of these academics, according to the writer? Here, because like when discussing the writing of academics about their research, the writer emphasizes his dislike. I mean, he doesn't like for the style, okay, for the style used in their writing. Yeah. Why do you know that he doesn't like that? Because here he said that it is almost as though the purpose of such writing is not to be clear. I mean, he said that, well, maybe the purpose of such writing by those academics is not to be clear. I mean, those academics, they don't mean to write something to be clear. You understand? They try to make something kind of hard to understand, okay, just to prove that, to prove what? In order to prove to peers or superiors that he has discovered something, okay? He tried to write something very hard to understand just to prove to people that, hey, I have discovered something new, okay? Maybe that's not new at all, or maybe it's just a little bit new or something. But when he writes in such a hard way, then people might think, okay, it's new, all right? And it does not seem to bother such people. That means that the writer thinks, okay, these people, they don't care about what? About whether people think that their style is considered ugly and barbaric by anyone of discernment, and it is repetitious, okay, long-winded, abstract, and abstruse. And those who write in such a way probably will not easily be discouraged unless what is considered acceptable within their disciplines changes. Okay, so when you read this, you know that the writer doesn't like it, doesn't like their writing style. Okay? Because it's not clear. Alright? So the answer is D. Now 13. Yes. Okay. The writer says that the kind of language used by academics in journals will only change if they are forced to change it. Okay. So the answer is C. Yeah. The writer says that the kind of language used by academics in journals will only change if they are forced to change it. Where? Mm-hmm. That one? The kind of language used by academics in journals will only change if they are forced to change it. I want to see the information like the language will only be changed if they are forced to change it. Where? Because if you read here, like the ideal style is one comprehensible to any intelligent person. If you make a conscious decision to communicate with a select group, so be it. But in trying to appeal to a large audience or even a small one that you wish to be sure we understand your meaning, writing of the sort mentioned above will not do. It's just some kind of advice or something. And this sort of writing used to be kept from the general public thanks to the need to find someone to publish it. But it doesn't say much about that the language used by academics in journals will only change if they are forced to change it. Actually, the sentence before that, those who write in such a way probably will not easily be discouraged. That means that those academics, they will not easily be discouraged. Okay? Unless what? Unless what is considered acceptable within their disciplines changes. Okay? So that means they will never change their writing style unless what is considered acceptable within their disciplines changes. Okay? Unless they have to, unless they are forced to, otherwise they will never change their writing style. Okay? And this part here, just some advice from the writer. You think, well, okay, if you want to write for everyone, you have to change your style. Okay, now the last one, 14. Yeah, the writer's opinion of the internet is that, and the answer is B. Yeah, it is encouraging standards of language used to fall. Okay, so the writer's opinion of the internet is that, so he thinks that the internet is encouraging standards of language used to fall. Okay, encouraging standards of language used to fall. Where? Yes, I can see the word internet here. Okay, yes, the last sentence here, right? The advent of the internet means that it is now much more widespread than it used to be, and the fact that it is now so common and so accessible means that this sort of writing is having a harmful effect on the language and causing it to be corrupted. Okay? Yes. So what does the internet do? Okay, so the advent of the internet, okay, means that it is now much more widespread than it used to be, and the fact that it is now so common, that means the internet is now so common and so accessible, means that this sort of writing, that means the writing style of academics, is having a harmful effect on the language. and causing it to be corrupted, causing the language to be corrupted. Okay? That means that the internet is encouraging standards of language used to fall. Okay? Yeah? Okay. All right. Now it's break time. We will discuss further after this. Yeah.